ZDX Sports.
Hey, the UNA Lions football team decided against playing spring football in the Big South, and instead they opted to have spring football practice, which wrapped up last month. Now Chris Willis and his squad are looking forward to a challenging 2021 fall schedule that we can describe as tough and rugged. Now the season will kick off in Hammond, Louisiana against Southeastern Louisiana on September the 4th. The first home game will be September 11th against Chattanooga. The following week, it's the Lions and Jacksonville State. The big rivalry continues at Burgess Snow. After that, UNA will travel to my mother's alma mater, Nicholls State. Conference play begins in October with a home bout against the Fighting Camels of Campbell. Now, to see the full schedule, you can head over to RocketCityNow.com/sports. Head coach Chris Willis sharing his thoughts on the schedule this morning.
11-game schedule. It makes you feel like football's back after what we just went through this fall. And obviously a challenging schedule. I mean, there are some very good opponents on there. We're in our last year of the transition. Hopefully we can use this to move into the first year of being eligible for the playoffs to kind of put ourselves in a position to, to succeed.